Hi, my name is Sol, and this is my art piece, Hope. Hope is from my art A-level coursework at the sixth form I attend. It's an embodiment of contrast, a mixture of struggle and perseverance, violence and peace, and despair yet hope. In this video, I'll talk about both the context and the process of this piece, meaning I'll be talking quite a bit, so get used to my voice, I guess, snuggle up or something, I don't know. At the start of this project, we were required to research artists that could impact us, whether it be technically or conceptually. I landed on a photographer named Mikhail Owena, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He would photograph people using fluorescent paint and a UV flash on his camera, producing images that presented black people as celestial mystical beings. However, he didn't do this just because it looked good. These ethereal images were acts of rebellion, retaliation. He grew upset with the way his people were presented in the media as bloodied, beaten, or broken, and created new media that showed black people as transcendent, a complete contrast. This inspired me as I also was a minority. I had experienced prejudice and I had seen people die just because they looked like me. But insurgence from discipline, hostility from tranquility, a silent scream is what I chose to do. A response to prejudice, a violent creation with something beautiful. Okay, so before I get too into the context and meaning of this piece, I just wanted to get into the process first. Okay, fun fact actually maybe not fun. Humor is subjective. The large slab of wood that you see me working on was actually from a table. I was walking home from school and I saw this massive table on the side of the street for free, and I thought, wow, that would be cool to paint, but there's no way I would carry this for 3 miles. So I kept walking, and after like 10 minutes, I saw an abandoned shopping trolley and I stopped and I was like, So with my shopping trolley, I went back to the table and I had to detach the tabletop. I had to detach the tabletop from the table legs, and I didn't have any tools with me apart from a pair of scissors. So I tiki spots on mystery mask of Tilda and I disassembled a table with a pair of scissors. Okay, now so the shopping trolley I had wasn't a regular one. It was a disabled shopping trolley. So it was like way skinnier than a regular trolley, and I had to put this fat slab of wood on this short trolley and haul it for 3 miles. It took 3 hours to get home because every time there was a bump in the pavement, the table almost fell off, and it did a few times, and this shit weighed it weighed hella much. I don't know weights, but maybe it was like 30 kilograms. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't even know how Jesus carried the cross because that was so hard. So after I brought it home, I cleaned it and then I took it to school, sanded it down, and then got my projector out and started drawing up the composition. In terms of media, I mainly used acrylic, but I also used a mix of ink, watercolor, pencil, and this glossy stained glass looking paint thing. I'm not too entirely sure what it was. I just saw it in Tindles and thought it looked cool, so I got it. Okay, so the main focus of this piece is my sister. I chose her to be my subject because it fit really well with my theme. I'm an older brother, only by 4 years, so not long enough to have parental experience, but long enough to have some sort of protectiveness over my younger sibling. I see in my little sister a bright future. I feel like she's capable of a lot of things. I have a lot of hope for her. However, I hope she's able to overcome the obstacles in life that might throw her off balance, like prejudice. Because once she's able to overcome those hurdles, she can she'll do anything. In this piece, she's looking up, hopeful, yet the glint in her eyes are gone. It's a contrast. Secondly, there's a bundle of flowers and plants surrounding her, each with meaning. The main flower, the sampaguita, sits in the bottom center of the piece. It's the national flower of the Philippines and symbolizes hope, strength, and perseverance. Surrounding her hair are white chrysanthemums and black-eyed Susans, meaning truth and justice. However, along the bottom lays belladonnas, purple hyacinths, and marigold, meaning silence, sorrow, and grief, respectively. Transitioning from the bottom negative-ish flowers to the top positive-ish flowers are leaves of aloe, which have a contrasting symbolism of both affection and grief. So it's like a nice segue between the two, I guess. And it looks cool. So I had this idea with this piece where I would manipulate the viewer's focus. Basically my goal was to have the viewer look up when first seeing the artwork. So they would first, when they open their eyes, they'd look at the face and then they'd travel upwards, imitating my sister's pose, looking up in a similar hopeful way. I did this in a few different ways. First, I tried this by staining the bottom of the table a bit darker using an ink wash, and then having like a gradient. This harnessed the idea of contrasting light and dark, subtly encouraging the viewer to gaze upwards. However, even after I did this, I felt as though something was missing. I got a couple of my classmates, stood them in front of my art, and then like closed their eyes and then opened their eyes, and then I asked them where their focus shifted, and they said that it went first from the face and then downwards to the flowers, which I assumed because there was like more detail at the bottom than the top. So since the light and dark thing didn't really work out, and I didn't want to accentuate the dark because I didn't want it to take away from the main focus of the theme, I chose a different approach and used color theory. The majority of my piece is green, so if I were to use green's complementary color, red, it would be more prominent and stand out, thus shifting the viewer's focus higher, and it worked. I added some roses to the top, and when I asked a couple people like where their focus shifted, it shifted upwards, and that's what I was going for. I finished this piece fairly fast. I got through 80% of it maybe in the first 3 days, just because I was really excited for this piece, and the rest of it was just refinement. This is definitely one of my favorite art things that I've created. I put like a lot of thought and effort into this piece. I handed it in, even though I think it could have done with a little bit more refinement, but I think it's nice. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, I guess. That's my art piece, Hope. I hope you liked it. Actually, I don't know if I hope you like it. I don't even know you, so yeah. Alright, until next time then, I guess.